All right, so we're gonna do some shrink wrapping today, okay? First things first though, I gotta load this truck because it's just after Christmas. I had to use it to haul presents and yeah, don't mind the garage. Bit messy. We're gonna get things rolling here. First. This shit's heavy. It's only about 90 pounds. It's 90. Ow. Old toothpick. Alright, that ain't going nowhere. Gotta give it one of those. Cut that. Alright, next step. We're all loaded up. It's time to go hit up Lowe's. Gotta pick up some damp rid. I usually put that on the inside of the boats whenever I wrap them. Pulls all that extra moisture out. Whenever we have warm December days like today, it's literally 57 degrees today. It is December 7th? It's December 27th, guys, and it's 57. It's gonna get in the 70s today, so it should be a pretty nice day for wrapping. I looked at the wind, and we shouldn't have anything much above 10 miles an hour, so should be a pretty solid, nice day to get some vitamin D and torch down some shrink wrap. All right, next stop, Lowe's, and then we'll be at the client's house. All right, guys. Pulling up to Lowe's here, grab some damp rid, and try to tell yourself you don't need any tools this time. That's all we need. We just need damp rid. We don't need anything else. No tools, no hats. I have a hat problem. Just damp rid, in and out, in and out. Very simple. Don't need any tools. Just damp rid. Just damp rid. A couple of these boys, these Johnnies. Don't look at the tools. Don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact with the tools. You're almost there. Ooh, Carhartt stuff. How's it going? Good.
Need help with anything?
Nope, just these two items. You'll get one today. Thanks, y'all. Good. right, let's hit the road to the client's house. Let's ride. All right, guys, about to pull up now. About 4 minutes out, down here in beautiful Branson, Missouri. I'm sure a few of you out there have heard of this elusive place called Branson. I like to call it Little Vegas. It's about a 40-minute drive, and next step is to identify the boat, get down there and start unloading. So you can kind of see the lake out there. We're getting close. Check in just a sec. Today we're going to be shrink wrapping a Cobalt R6. I think this is like my 4th one I've done this year. They're really beautiful boats. So I'm going to pull up down here and identify where the boat is. He says it's on a dock behind the house, and I said that must be nice. Just kidding. Here we are. I think it should be that red Cobalt right there. Luckily, we can just pull right up, so I don't have to carry my stuff too far, which is always nice, always a plus. Definitely have to use 4-wheel drive to get out of here, but hey, that's why we got it. Absolutely beautiful. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it smells like fish out here. So there's that. I'm sure we'll get used to it after a little bit, right? All right, now's the process of just unloading. We're this first boat here on the right, this Cobalt R6. Looks like a brand new one too. All red, man. I really like that color combo. I brought my koozies here. I usually leave a couple of these in the boat. All right, I'm gonna start getting all the stuff here and I'll start unpacking. So I gotta bring the whole 90-pound roll. I really don't want to do, but I also don't want to get caught in a situation where I don't have enough shrink wrap on one of those rolls and then I have to roll it all back up. I totally haven't had to do that before. That has never happened, not even once. So I'm gonna play the safe route today. We'll go ahead and get this out of the way. Now, actually, I don't know if I'll need that yet, so hold on that. Dr. Shrink Wrap, only the best shrink wrap. Highly suggest theirs. Highly recommend that. Always wear gloves when you're putting a shrink wrap roll on. If you like your knuckle skin, if you don't, then I mean, just do whatever, I guess. This is always tricky because the box will want to come with us. It's about 90 pounds. I don't even know if you guys can see much of this right now because of the camera angle, but let me put you guys up here real quick. There we go. Maybe that's a better angle for you. All right. All right, and I got this backwards too, so that's lovely. All right. Put it on the spool. And drop. There we go. Let that chill there. Then when we're ready, what we'll do is we'll pull that up and over the boat. Looks like we're pretty close to the roof there. And I will go ahead and get my board. I'll just put it on this side for now. But yeah, I usually use this across here so I can get up close to the boat like this. Whenever it gets to that point, this feels like it's actually got ceramic coating. All right. I think I got all I need for now out of the truck. What we'll do is start taking off the cover. Right, let's go to Customer said he wants the cover in front of the driver's seat. Let's see if I can actually go ahead and pull this up. Be able to. Awesome. All right. Make sure you always zip these back up. Last thing you want is that coming out, slapping the boat. Oh wow, nice color combo on this. Brown, black, and red, dude. That is cool. It's one of the nicer R6s I've actually done. It's nothing about. Up real nice, and then he said he wanted it here, I do believe. Perfect spot for it. Ayo. All right, there we go. Seat should just lay back down. Cool. Nice clean boat. Nope, those are not coming down. Okay. All right, let's get our interior stuff going. I'll cut to that. And we'll get started. Alrighty, got what we need for the inside. Some foam padding, our damp rid, tape, and straps. Now it's time to build the structure. Usually I like to start at the front here. I'm not gonna need this padding most likely. We'll go ahead and pop our damp rid. Usually I like to put that underneath the driver's seat here. That just pulls all the additional moisture out of the air when we have these warm December days. Now, I'm gonna remove my shoes, step up here. Man, that is close up there. Wowee. That is gonna be really hard. I don't know if you guys can see it up there, but goodness. It's gonna be very difficult to pull over the top. Yeah. Wow. It's doable. It's just, wow. That is, this boat couldn't be any further forward. That is for sure. Awesome. So I'll do. I really like to use that as my point. Go auto. Something over here. I think I can get it. No, I don't think I can. Don't think I can. That's fine. Put it here. Basically what I'm doing here is putting this strap in place so the shrink wrap has a place to lay on top. We call it the internal structure. We in the shrink wrap industry call it the internal structure. It is used to shear rain and snow. And also it doesn't let the shrink wrap lay on top of the interior, which is kind of important when you're applying so much heat. There's a wet spot that I just stepped in. Nice reminder to put my shoes back on. That's gonna suck for the rest of the day. Right. Bada bing. Cut off the little bit of excess. About yay. All right, got these buckles in my back pocket, and what we'll do is make it tight. Have the front done after this. Huck it down. Now, can the window close? Yep, good deal. Get open. All right. This will be a tool that we use later. I always like to pull these through and then tie them. Just your standard square knot's fine. Next step is to tape these, because again, I don't want this poking through the shrink wrap. And also these metal buckets or buckles can get a little hot whenever you're applying heat to shrink wrap them. And we don't want those melting through. But it will take long. Ain't gonna be pretty. Done with zero. All right, now let's get creative back here. I'm gonna pull this forward and pull these fellers in so they're not sticking out. This is the wakeboard holders here. Those are really high quality CNC machined. Beautiful. Wow, that is so cool. Wow. Cool. probably go from those cleats back there. Again, I hate using the bimini. Dislike that. Maybe I can use these. What if, because I want to keep it off of the back. I can use the bimini, it's just I hate using it. I can't really. That's a pretty damn sturdy bimini too. Make sure it's nice and tight. That's actually a pretty sturdy bimini, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I just don't have a place to get it. Alright, I'll tell you what. I got another idea. There we go. Okay. We Gucci. Yeah. Little tricky. There we go. That's tight. Oh, tight. There we go. A little slack out. Not too tight, but just tight enough. I think that should be okay. Back through, and we just tighten them down. And tape up the buckle. There we go. All right, back part's done. The internal structure is essentially done. Again, whenever we're wrapping a boat like this with a tower, you can just use the tower. You don't actually have to use 2x4s to support the internal structure to shear rain and snow and all that stuff, even though we're undercover. Okay. I think we're pretty good on the inside. What I'm gonna do now, grab this strapping out of here. Next step is to do the belly band loops. These belly band loops provide a place for the belly band to go through, okay? If that doesn't make sense, it will in a little bit, okay? What I'm gonna do is put tape along here because this is not really a sharp edge, but whenever you tighten down the belly band strap, it can start to slice through. So what I'll do is take some tape here, fold it up a few times, leave a little tab, and put it where I think the strap will be running. About there. Get one more piece. And there we go. Bob's your uncle. Bob isn't my uncle, but it might be yours. Tell Bob I said, hey. Uncle Bob. Go, Uncle Bob. If you were wondering, yes, it still smells like fish down here. There's a fish dead nearby, and that's a fact. He's a stinky fish. All right, guys, what I've done here is I've got our belly band loops in place. Boom, 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 all the way around the back. And what we'll do now, get to the other side of the boat, is pull our belly band loop, or our belly band, around. I usually like to start it at the back because that's where the buckle will be, essentially just in midair over there. I'll show you guys. Probably speed this footage up. But those loops, our belly band goes through. Easy peasy. Oh. Alright, and then this area is where our buckle is gonna sit. This final belly band loop here, we'll leave this sitting about yay. And then we'll take our end, guesstimate a little bit. Snip. And we'll put it through here, here, and here. All right. Belly band is going where we want it to on that side. Now what we'll do is take another metal buckle out of your back pocket and get this thing tightened down. Now this belly band is what we'll use to actually put the shrink wrap up under. So this will be our structure for the bottom of the boat. Around the skirt of the shrink wrap, this band will be ran through it, basically. It'll be folded up under it. So I'll actually show you guys that process once we get to it, of course. But at this point, we try not to fall into the water, and we tighten it pretty good. Before you tighten it all the way, you're gonna want to make sure all these are straight, because again, we want to ride that black line. Gonna make sure all of your belly band loops are straight. Now it's straight. So we use the front eye here. This one's a little wonky. There we go. So we're all straight here. Looking good along here. I didn't put one there, but that's okay. Actually, I probably shouldn't have. Okay, now I'm gonna tighten it down pretty good. Give her a good pull. Again, you want this thing as tight as possible because this is where the structure for the bottom of the shrink wrap comes from. So we're gonna huck it and jug it. All right, that's pretty. Looking good, fellas. All right, now cut down the excess and do our tie technique. Next step is pulling the shrink wrap over. All right, guys. At this point, It's time to start laying some shrink wrap over, okay? Sorry about the mower in the back. He's been at it all day. So I went ahead and put this up here on top of the boat, and I'm just gonna pull it over. So let's go. And don't worry, I'm gonna speed this up because I might cuss a little bit, honestly. But what's nice is there's no wind today, at least, so that's a huge plus. Actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. What makes it hard is the length of the bimini top. It's pretty long, so you got to get around the sides of the boat to pull it over. But now we'll go to the next steps, and that is tucking. I hate that part. Let's go. The next part of this, I said was tucking. It kind of is, but first we're going to go ahead and cut the shrink wrap to length here. I've got it pulled over the boat at the very back, the length I want. Everything's looking good, so we're gonna go ahead and cut it, and then we're going to start unfolding it. This is usually when the wind starts to pick up, if I'm being honest, but it seems like we're having pretty good luck today, so I'll take it. All right, guys, let's go. Oh, and remember, you can always make it shorter. So, shrink wrap's cheap, cut extra, all right? And also, always use a lanyard for your scissors. I've lost probably about 6 pairs of scissors, okay? Done with cutting. Let's unfold this beast. This is easier with a friend, by the way. Too bad I don't have any. Guys, at this point, we're done with shrink wrapping. That's it. Yeah, from here we just, send them an invoice and call it a day. Maybe it's not quite time for the invoice. I'm just in denial because I hate this next part. We're gonna be doing some cutting and tucking, okay? This is, again, usually whenever the wind picks up, but it's a beautiful freaking day out here. It's December 27th, and it's like 70 degrees. Let's get to work. All right, first things first. Scissors on a lanyard. Let me show you guys what we're trying to do here, because I already did one side. I don't want to bore you with both sides, but essentially, this is 26-foot wide shrink wrap material, okay? I like to go wide. You can always make it shorter. You can't make it longer, right? So this side looked exactly the same as the other side, right? But I've essentially cut it to about 1 foot to 2 foot in length further down than our belly band that we ran earlier, okay? At this point, I have tucked the material up under the belly band. So the belly band runs here, the material goes up under, and is all straight in the back, okay? We're gonna do the same thing for the other side. We're gonna cut it to size, and we're gonna tuck it. This is the worst part about shrink wrapping. I don't care what anybody says. This separates the professionals from the amateurs, okay? I'm an amateur. I'm still learning. Everybody's an amateur. So what I'm gonna do here, well, first, I'm gonna start by setting my plank up. Fast forward. All right, plank has been set up. So I usually like to start somewhere towards the front. A lot of people say start towards the middle. I'm indifferent, okay? Start where you want. I'm gonna start towards the front because that's where my plank is and that's where my feet are right now. So what I'm doing here, I don't know if you can see, should be able to, but I'm feeling for where the strap is, okay? I can feel it through the shrink wrap. It's right here. Now I'm gonna cut about a foot or two below that point. I'm gonna have enough material to tuck up underneath there. From here, that's a little less than a foot, so we'll come down a little bit. And we'll just keep feeling where our material is. This is just a sanity check. Again, I know where it's at. It's running along this plane, right? But sanity check yourself, because again, you can't add material after you've cut it off. You can cut off extra material. Always go with extra. I've never had to redo a shrink wrap on a boat because I've cut too much off or I've cut the belly band or anything like that, because I'm always thinking about playing it safe. You should too. Or don't. I mean, it really doesn't matter. I don't even know why you're watching these videos. I'm just having a good time. Down on the lake, December 27th. It's literally like 70 some odd degrees. Like, what the hell? I'm in Missouri, by the way. Branson, Missouri, like I said earlier. And it's 74 right now. December 27th. That makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. But it'll be like 30s next week, I'm sure. So what I'm doing here, I'm gonna keep this all together. Now, this is gonna go in the water, right? You can see it down there. It's getting in the water. It's okay. As long as you got an end that you can grab, it won't sink. I mean, technically it will sink, so don't let this go in the water. Do not litter. Do not be that guy. We care about this lake. We're on Table Rock Lake here, Branson, Missouri. This is where I do most of my business. Next year I'm gonna be extending out into Lake of the Ozarks and growing this business significantly. Recently, well, not recently, but here soon, I'm gonna be quitting my day job. My day job is working for a financial technology company. I've been a systems engineer with them for quite a while. And I started this whole shrink wrapping deal about 3 years ago, right? Thinking, okay, cool. I can make some extra money shrink wrapping boats. It'll be cool to have like some extra money during the holiday season, right? But as you guys will see in my future videos, this has turned into a little bit more than just shrink wrapping boats. Turns out, and I didn't know it at the time, I'm in one of the best areas. Sorry. I'm in one of the best areas to be a shrink wrapper. Because Springfield, Missouri, which is the area I'm really kind of from, is the stainless steel capital of the world. They do a ton of stainless steel fabrication stuff, and nobody likes doing shrink wrapping. In fact, I'm the only guy who does it around this area. So I got hit up after about a year into this business to shrink wrap some stainless steel fabricated goods. I didn't know how to do that, but I looked it up online, and I'm one of those people who like to learn, right? So I learned about it, and I started thinking, wow, there's a lot of money into this whole industrial side of things, right? shrink wrapping stainless steel tanks, fabricated goods, logistics stuff for trucking companies. I'm like, whoa, it's a lot more than just boats. So I became pretty good partners with this initial company that hit me up, right? And they've been really good to me. They've been amazing. They're my best industrial partner. And I've just been growing the business ever since, working with them nonstop. Now, after I got their attention, I ended up getting the attention of more people in the stainless steel industry. And that's really where the biggest side of this business comes from, is the industrial side. Logistical protection, stainless steel tanks, stainless steel, you name it, I can shrink wrap it. Boats, yeah, they're seasonal, and I haven't really pushed it that hard. I haven't even hardly advertised for my own business, but coming up here at the end of this year, 2025, I am no longer gonna be working my day job. I'm gonna be strictly doing shrink wrapping. Now, to a lot of you, that might sound a little crazy, but like I said, I'm one of the only guys that does it in this whole area. So I'm really fortunate in that aspect. And I'm gonna keep pushing this business and see where we can take it. And I'm gonna take you guys along with me. That's kind of why I'm starting this YouTube video. So if you've made it this far in this YouTube video and you're like, dude, what's this guy even doing? That's the point. I'm just doing a boat, okay? Today. Tomorrow we might be doing 5 tanks, stainless steel tanks. I might do a set of stairs, dude. I might shrink wrap some crates. I don't know. I'm just gonna take you guys along on these little shrink wrap adventures. All right, so anyways, I've been rambling for too long. I really should get busy, but it's so beautiful outside. I just want to spend more time out here. Again, this belly band, you see it? All the way up underneath there. Right now, I'm gonna take this shrink wrap and I'm gonna tuck it, okay? We've done the cutting, it's time to tuck it, okay? Now, what I like to do is grab the shrink wrap down here at the belly band, push it up underneath there, right? It's a little tricky on this side, so it's probably not gonna get on camera very well. But I'm essentially just grabbing this material. I don't know if you can see that very well. And I'm pulling up under the belly band. So if you can see that line there, essentially what I've done, pulled it up under, and I've got it straight up underneath there. This job takes some flexibility, quite literally. This is not a good position to be in, okay? So what I've done here, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I've got a pleat here, okay? Pleats start at the highest point of the shrink wrap. We have a high point there, we have a high point there. So what I'm gonna do is take this pleat, which I've already formed before I cut it. It's another pro tip. And I'm grabbing the belly band up underneath here, and I'm pinching this pleat around it. So now I'm holding on to it. I'm gonna push it up underneath there. Sometimes this will take a clip, okay? Because these pleats are a little heavy. What we're gonna do is clamp it right here, the thickest point. This likes to fall down. There's a lot of weight, so you gotta think there's, you know, 1, 2, 3 layers that are kind of hanging through this backside. Maybe I can just show you guys without. I'm gonna continue on. Again, got another pleat there. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with this YouTube channel. I really don't. But it's kind of interesting, some of the situations I get in, some of the things I wrap. I mean, I put like 25,000 miles plus on my vehicle every year just traveling to do shrink wrap jobs. And that's me been just doing it part-time. Just part-time. I haven't really pushed the business super hard because, again, I have had a day job for the last 14 years, a really good career, right? So now that I've got it to this point, I'm like, man, what if I just started sharing it with the world and kind of like showing people what I do and actually pushing this business and taking you guys along for the journey. I'm not some professional business guy, okay? I got everything set up the way it should be, but you know, that's taken me a lot of learning. I'm not like, I didn't go to business school, right? I'm an IT guy at the end of the day, but I'm a very logical, analytical person. And I like to learn if it interests me, and making money interests me. So here I am. And flip this up and heat weld it, okay? This is an advanced technique. I didn't find this out until this year. And I found it out on my own. It's not like there's a YouTube channel for shrink wrap installers about sharing the latest secrets about how to shrink wrap good. All right, guys, what we've done here is we've gone through around the entire belly band and we've tucked it, okay? This is a good tuck. It's kind of a weird pleat, but it'll shrink out. So now, what we'll do is we'll go around this entire belly band here, okay? I'm gonna leave the front for now until I get the torch out. And we are gonna heat weld all of the seams around this boat. From the back, front, everything, okay? So we're gonna apply heat with the hot torch and we're gonna make sure everything's pressed together. So that way we have good bond around that belly band, which again, gives us the structure that we need, okay? I'm gonna cut to that here in just a second. So, I've heat welded this side, right? I'm gonna show you guys how to do the other side, okay? All right, chat. Welding gloves. Gotta have those. Here's what we're gonna do with the other side, just like we did with the other side. That makes no damn sense. We're gonna heat weld the part that we tucked up underneath. So we're gonna take our time here, okay? We're gonna pat it down. Just watch. Now, essentially it's rinse and repeat, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm heating this outside part of the plastic, and then I'm hitting it against the back part, okay? Because remember, we folded it up under. Now it's become one piece. That is welded together. That's it. That's not going anywhere. The heating part, I'm gonna let you guys figure out. I'm not gonna tell you how to do it, okay? I'm not giving away my secrets. Guys, here we are at a pleat. So pleats are a little weird, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 pieces of material like folded up on itself. It's a little weird. What I like to do is to put the gun down here inside the pleat. Hopefully you guys can see that. But also don't look at it. It's kind of tricky. This can kind of blow up and this can kind of catch on fire. You gotta be careful with this. This could burn the whole boat down. Now you see how it kind of welded itself to itself to itself to itself? That's what we want. So, ooh. You just want to be paying. Just want to pay big. All right. Nice and hot and patted. Now again, I'm angling this, hopefully you guys can see that, to where it's not hitting the gel coat. You don't want this flame hitting the gel coat. I know that's obvious, but don't. Now, nobody here, that's the eye point. Now, this is how you do it, okay? You sit down there, you don't your face here. Don't. You will get your arm off. Tap the eye. Turn it on. Okay, I'm gonna pull this in here, and we're gonna do this swim platform, okay? Now, if you'll notice, I've done this a little bit backwards. I might have mentioned that before, I'm not sure. Been out here for a minute, so. But I'm going the opposite direction. So I've made a slit up in through here, and I've pulled the shrink wrap up so that way it'll set on the outside. Kind of like what you do for a pontoon boat. I'll show you guys a pontoon boat later, but anyways, I found that doing the swim platforms, since I'm hanging out over the water like this, doing them in reverse fashion is a lot easier. It's a lot easier than trying to tuck them up underneath there, and it just doesn't work out that good. Just don't do it that way. All right, so now I'm gonna get this back deck. This is tricky, don't fall in. Just don't. So I'm gonna set back here, okay? Now you're gonna put some strain on the shrink wrap, but it's okay. Shrink wrap's pretty tough. Don't be a wimp. Now I've already tucked this, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but I've already tucked it underneath the the belly band, and I'm gonna fold it out. Okay, simple, easy peasy. We're gonna pull this up. All right, gang. So I've got it folded up over here. Start by folding the corner. Not a lot of heat, okay? Because this has SeaDek on the swim platform, okay? You always want to remember what's behind the stuff that you're shrink wrapping. Like right here, this is a seat, okay? We're not gonna apply a lot of heat here at all. In fact, I'm not gonna apply any heat here. I remembered where this is. Now the rest of this, we can apply all the heat we want, but this stuff here, you always want to pay attention to what's behind the shrink wrap. You don't want to be melting vinyl seats. Your clients aren't going to be happy. I've never done that. I've never had that issue, but you have to be cognizant of that. So here we go. Oh my God, a hole. That's okay. Don't freak out about holes. It's kind of like welders. Welder and paint, or grinders and paint make me the welder I ain't. In shrink wrap, it's tape. Makes me the shrink wrapper I ain't. All right, now it's time for the front. This takes a little bit of steeze, but not much, okay? All right, so fold this up under. And then, all right, homies. So here's what we're gonna do. Make sure it's tucked in real nice. And we're just gonna, little tacks. Little tack. Little tack. Little tack. And again, keep it away from that gel coat. Now, all that heat's in there. And we're good, boys. Let me get this little front. All right. Gootin'. I'm just glad it's a beautiful day. All right, guys, next step, we're gonna do tie downs, okay? Tie downs are very important. Now, there's multiple ways to do tie downs. If you're doing a transport job for a boat, it's quite a bit different on the tie down technique. But since we're on a lift, this is a stationary boat, it's a little easier. Okay, next time I do a transport boat, I'll bring you guys along and I'll show you guys how I do my tie downs. Because one important thing is about these tie downs is they actually run along the boat itself. So what can happen on like a transport boat, for example, is those straps can actually vibrate and they can rub on the gel coat itself. Now, whenever this happens, it can burn the gel coat, it can destroy the boat. It's really bad. It's not a good thing. So you have to do a couple of extra protection techniques there whenever you're doing a transport boat. So in this case, again, this boat, it's on a lift, right? So we don't have to worry about much. It's gonna stay put. We're gonna once again use our strap. And basically the whole objective here is to do a tie down that holds the shrink wrap in place. So once we start shrink wrapping all this stuff, all this material, the shrink wrap can shrink by about 20%, 20-30%. It kind of depends. So what we want to avoid and what these tie downs are for is so that whenever it starts to shrink up, it doesn't pull on that belly band. So we're gonna do maybe 3 to 4 tie downs here on each side. I'm gonna take my knife and I'm gonna cut in line with this post because I want to tie off of that post. So I'm gonna cut here. Now, you gotta be careful about this because again, I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but that's our belly band. If I was to cut in here like this, there goes our belly band. This whole thing is a wrap. I've never done that. And I don't want to find out what happens when you do that. Big fan of loops and goops, okay? It's the old loop and goop. We're gonna give ourselves plenty. Use a combination of our knife and our scissors. Make sure that's nice and tight down there. And then I'm gonna bring it up nice and flat and I'm gonna poke it through. Now, whenever you're doing these belly bands, I'm not gonna try to like wring this thing totally tight, but I do wanna go through 2 times. So if you notice I did this 2 times, I'm gonna poke it through from the back, I'm gonna pull it down, and then I'm gonna pinch and hold, and I'm gonna bring it back through again. Now that gives us a little surface tension so that way whenever I come through, I'm gonna hold this little point with my fingers up here and I'm gonna just do a simple square knot. 1, 2, and then 3. That ain't going nowhere, okay? And we'll rinse and repeat about 3 more times. Okay, for now, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video and I'm gonna finish up these tie downs. We're gonna do 3 to 4 of these per side. And then the next step is the most satisfying step of them all, okay? And that is shrink wrapping the boat. Yeah. Y'all ever just look at your truck and be like, gosh dang. Anyways, we got the tie downs done, okay? Let's check them. So, we got everything done as far as the tie downs are concerned. We have our entire belly band shrink wrapped and welded. It's time for the most satisfying part. I've been waiting all day to show you guys this. It's time to actually shrink wrap. All right, boys. It is time for my favorite part, okay? This is what we call torching. Well, that's what I call it. I mean, I don't know what they call it in the shrink wrap industry, but I call it torching down, okay? Because that's what I'm doing. First off, I have the Shrinkfast 988. I'm not going to use the extension for this first. At first, we're going to go to about chest height and shrink wrap everything down around the perimeter of the boat, excluding the rear here. And then Then I'll grab my actual extension and we will shrink wrap the rest of it. You'll see. Let's go. If you notice, I'm at the pleat here. Okay, boys. So what we've done is just shrink wrapped it up to just above like the bumper line. Like here's kind of where we're just doing it just above. Okay, just above. We're gonna go around the whole outside of it except for the back. We don't want to do that quite yet, but we're gonna do the whole outside of it. And then we're gonna get out the extension. See that? That's a hole. I know you know that already, but don't worry about stuff like that. It's probably a manufacturing issue in the shrink wrap, and or you got a little nick in it. A little bitty tiny hole in the shrink wrap can cause a big one like that. As soon as it heats and it pulls apart away from that hole itself, it's gonna get bigger and bigger. Don't worry, we have tape to fix that. All right, boys, it's time for the extension. Cut. What the hell? All right, boys, now we got this 4-foot extension. 4 foot, $400. Okay, this took me a while to order, I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I first started the business, I was like, I don't need an extension for my torch. That's silly, I have ladders. Well, it turns out you do need this, and $400 is it's quite a bit, you know, whenever you're first starting out. But this is so worth it. I have to use less less ladders. Okay, less ladders. That's the point. You guys notice how I started torching and now the wind's blowing? This is what I was talking about. Every shrink wrapper's issue. Luckily, we have had pretty good luck with the wind today, but most of the time you don't have good luck. It's so funny because the wind is starting to blow. This whole day it's been completely dead, and now the wind starts to blow. Welcome to the life of a shrink wrap guy. The wind is blowing. We must wait. It's okay, wind. And that, folks, is how you torch down some shrink wrap. Don't mind the holes. I know you guys see that hole up there. I know you guys see that hole right there too. But it's okay. The shrink wrap material is not perfect, okay? None of this shrink wrap material is perfect. It's just not how it happens. Now, the best shrink wrap material I've found is Dr. Shrink Wrap. I've tried Uline and I had about 9 times the holes that we're seeing right now. Holes happen. It's part of it, okay? What you have to remember is that tape fixes holes, okay, and thin spots. So we're good. And I would say that that is a pretty good damn looking piece of shrink wrap right there. All right, boys, let's get to taping. Grinder and paint make me the welder I ain't, okay? I've already sliced myself with a razor blade. Don't worry about that. Don't ask me about the tape I use because that's an industry secret. I will not disclose where I get my tape from because this is what separates me from the boys, okay? This is a manly tape. This ain't no mess around tape. This is some serious shit. Alrighty, we've got this side done. Look at those seams. Remember, we had pleats here. We had pleats here, okay? We had a thin spot up there. Taped it. A little bit of a thin spot up there. All right, I want to give a quick shout out to my friend Patrick because he left a protein bar in my truck the last time we went shrink wrapping and helped me out, and kind of saved my life, I'm not gonna lie. I think we're good, boys. Next step, we're gonna do some vents. Vent time. And what I'm gonna do is install these about here, right in the middle of the highest point. We're gonna use 2 pieces of tape. This should keep it very nice. Let's do a final QA. quality assurance for those of you not in the know. Make sure all these seams are good. Any thin spots, any holes, any weird shit that you see, we're gonna tape it up. This is what a premium shrink wrap looks like, okay? It's pretty good. We're gonna scan it up and down. It's about as good as it gets. All right, boys. Next step, let's load out in the truck and get out of here. Then we can send in an invoice. Let's do it. Cheers. Thank you guys for coming along for this journey. I'm gonna go ahead and pack up and we're gonna wrap this video up. For now, this is 417 Shrink Wrap Installer. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. Let's get the hell out of here. Cheers, boys. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. If you guys have any suggestions on how this YouTube channel should go, I'm open ears, okay? I do a lot of industrial shrink wrapping, so I can't wait to bring you guys along for that journey. Boats are only a part of what my business does, so I can't wait to hear from you all, and please leave a comment, like, subscribe. I'll get better at this, I promise. And till next time, guys, take it easy. Peace.